St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I grew up. And my mother is from Southeast Missouri, so I'm half white too. And I grew up with my Lola, which means grandmother in Tagalog, the Philippine language. She is still the greatest cook that I know. So this is a dish that she would prepare for me very often, still does. She's 87, and she is just the greatest teacher. So I wanted to try to give a little bit of that memory of growing up eating this to Better Homes and Gardens readers. As far as the rest of the story goes, with all these varieties that we used, we went through a rigorous testing phase. Emily over here, she had many varieties of different squash and pumpkins that she tested, and we were trying to figure out the best ones to use for which story. This one kind of fell into place because ginataang kalabasa means squash cooked in coconut milk, and the squash that you cook in the coconut milk is usually a kaboka squash, which is what kalabasa translates to in Tagalog. So we actually have our kaboka squash that we're going to use for this, but it's very similar to a butternut squash as far as texture goes. It doesn't have when it cooks, it still holds its shape, and it won't have that stringy texture that you get when you're using a pie pumpkin, and it doesn't really get mushy, so you're able to eat it kind of more like a sweet potato. There's a little duster over there, but it's not quite the same. If you know what a microplane is, it's a very fine grater. It's usually in a stick form, kind of like that. A little bit more fine in the whole size. You use it a lot to zest a lemon or lime for your dishes, but you can also use it to grate your garlic or ginger. So I use it for ginger, and that way you just take a little knob of it and you rub it across, and it gives you this really nice pure minced ginger.
It's a little bit of time just to get your onions.
I'm gonna crank the heat up a little bit. Dried fish. It's very potent. A little goes a long way. Are you handing me that? Okay. All right. Yeah. So we actually call for 2 tablespoons in here. That is a little generous, maybe, for those who are new to fish sauce. So you might want to start with a tablespoon if you're doing it for yourself, and then add it later, because this is also kind of used as a condiment in the Philippines, where we toss a little bit onto our dishes to add a little bit of funky, salty flavor to your dish. I don't know if you can smell. I'm going to make the stew nice and creamy.
Don't skip and do a low fat or the light.
Yeah, or the stuff that you buy that's refrigerated. You want the stuff in the can.
Find the stuff you want to drink, because this is really what does carry all the coconut flavor. Otherwise, it's just kind of void, and it tastes like you're going to do a diet recipe.
Infuse the stew as it simmers, so it's just going to go right in. You can totally leave this pepper out if you don't want to have extra spice in it. I like the little bit of spice that it brings. This is a banana pepper. This is similar to the color that you would find of a finger pepper. It's definitely more mild. You're still going to get a little bit of tang out of this instead of a heat level. So you could also use this in there if you want. It's very large, and again, it would just seeds or no seeds, you can put them, just drop it in, and this is just going to be. They will do the whole shrimp with the head on, and that goes in, and it does add a lot of flavor. It also keeps the shrimp nice and juicy while it's cooking in the broth, and it kind of absorbs that flavor. We have them headless, so you don't have to look at the googly eyes today, and it's also peeled for you in here. But we do like to have the head on shrimp. If you pick up our October issue, you will see the little eyes poking out of the pot, and it's really great. This is a traditional way of making it with shrimp. You could also make this with pork. That's another one they make it with. You can also just leave out the protein, and you can make it vegetarian, and then they actually make vegan fish sauce substitutes if you wanted to make it meatless. Or you could just throw in a little dash of soy sauce. It still kind of gives the umami and salty flavor in there. I do that a lot at home in general because I tend to eat less meat when I'm at home cooking for myself. So, and it works really great. I will something that I created. Living in St. Louis, if you've ever been to St. Louis, you know that gooey butter cake is a thing. It's like a really rich cake that's got like custardy, buttery layer, like with cream cheese. It's very indulgent and it's really great. It's one of my favorite things. There's also like a cheating cookie version that you can make out of cake mix. And I decided back in July, I do a little Christmas in July party for my friends every year. So I decided to do the gooey butter cookie but give it a little bit of a festive color. So I decided to do pandan. And if you don't know what pandan is, I have a bottle. Or not.
Sorry, it's really messy. I needed to bring it separately.
That's fine. So this is what the extract looks like. It's green, it's vibrant. In reality, if you ever see them in real life, you won't see a real plant here because they grow in tropical environments. But it's actually a big leaf. Like it looks. Okay, so I have softened cream cheese, which is very soft thanks to this weather, and very soft butter. Okay. And my Barbie hand mixer, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, so I sort of missed the explanation, but does pandan have a particular flavor? Like I tasted a lot of meat. Just curious.
It's a very mild, subtle flavor. I kind of think of it to be a little bit floral and grassy if you have a lot of it. But it's definitely just like a very mild, like, there is a little something different about this. Not quite vanilla, I don't know what it is, but it's green, so.